I'm just so stoked right now. I'm bringing you another episode of the HipHopHumboldt podcast. This time, I'm sitting here with the legend, living legend in the building right now, Hiway. What's up, Hiway?
What's good, man? How you doing?
I'm real good, man. I'm blessed to be here with you, you know. It's a beautiful day in Humboldt County, and we're sitting here, and you're giving me your time, so thank you, man.
I appreciate you, man. You know what I mean, for having me on here. I like what you're doing. Been tuning in, you know, for a while now, so it's good to see. Good to hear me.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. You know, I'm just, you know, with this podcast, I'm just, you know, trying to show respect to the culture that folks like you have laid down for a long time around here, you know, and you guys deserve respect. And I think that this podcast is really meant to be a testament to what you guys, I'm talking like yourself and the legacy that you've laid down in Humboldt County over the years. You know what I'm saying? Talking folks like I've had on, you know, Brian Swislow, right? We were just talking about how I just had the Dirty Rats in here. We got that podcast on deck, you know. I got one with DJ Just One. Yes, sir. You know, that's in the clip right now, you know. Did one with the, you know, another legend, man. I got a lot of respect for is Knack One.
Knack One, the general, man.
Yeah.
The general.
He really is.
That's the big brother. Those are all legends, man.
That's real.
Everyone you've named, man, they're all legendary around here.
Yeah.
You know, and abroad, you know what I mean?
That's for real. So, and I just wanted to make sure I get y'all on first as like I said, a show of respect. You know,
that's what's up.
And in that way, folks know that this is, you know, an actual, you know, like I said, an archival of all the things that you guys have done. And so you've been doing hip hop around here for a while now, and you've came up. Yeah. I think there's a whole, like I said, legacy that you've laid down, and I'd love for you to get into it today. You know, start back as early as you want to, get into any topic that you want to, you know.
Well, shit, man.
Yeah, because I got a lot of respect, man. I came and saw you at a lot of shows at this point now, man, and
yes, sir.
You really hold the crowd. You know what I mean? That's one thing that I can say about you, dude, that, you know, folks around here, I'm definitely not, you know, talking about anybody in specific. But there's something with experience, and it shows how you can like really command that crowd, man.
I try, man. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Those are the things that that we take to heart when people mention that, because it's a whole universe unto itself. So, you know, performing and the artistic side of it. Those are all different universes that come together for what we do. And kind of bringing it back to what you were saying, just the opening, you know what I mean? Like, Humboldt County, man. Humboldt County music is they call it behind the redwood curtain for a reason. There's so much around here, so much talent, so much diversity, but we're it's almost like an island or something. It's not made it abroad too much, with some exceptions. But yeah, man, the greatest undiscovered, you know, musical artistic environment, you know, ever. I think.
I agree.
We got a lot here, but yeah, man. So
yeah, man. One of the things that is cool is that when I did the interview with Brian Swislow, he showed me this like encyclopedia or like a cross section of encyclopedia, right? And you're like in there, you know what I mean?
The big rap book?
Yeah. That's dope, dude.
Yo. Dude, I think that's the only one in existence too, right?
I think that's what he said.
It's a one of one. Talk about an NFT, man.
For real.
Shit.
That's for real.
No, yeah, I seen that thing. It's huge. It's the encyclopedia of Humboldt hip hop. So it's an honor to be in there, you know. It's flattering. But yeah. And I don't want to spoil what they got going on, but there's going to be more insights into the Humboldt hip hop. I don't know what Just addressed with you, but yeah.
I've heard a little bit about, you know, some things that are moving, man. There's some good stuff going on out there.
Yeah, but shit, man.
So now
the beginning. What's up?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, because I know, like, from what I've heard, right, like you been working with Brian Sturtevant for a long time, right?
Right.
And now, and I may be wrong about this because I'm not, totally up on names, or I just, but that's Big Daddy, right?
Yes.
And he's your manager?
He was previously my manager.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I act alone nowadays. Probably just as of recent, probably the last couple of years, something like that. But yes, Brian Sturdivant was one of the first people that caught wind of the music I was making at about 18, right? So about 18, 19 is when we met. It was when I met. He was a few years older than me, and then he saw something. It was very unpolished. It was a mess. It was all recorded. Myself at my dad's house at the time, and but he believed in it, and we just started popping off a scene. There was already things going on here. Diamondback Entertainment, that was like a powerhouse here, and that was kind of like, that was what we were surrounded by. So I was jumped in, like earlier on, you know what I mean? And
that's dope.
Yeah, so yeah, he was my acting manager for quite a while, And just, we grow and we age and we mature, and so I think there's a lot of things that I had to learn myself that I was dependent on. I was depending on other people to facilitate things, when really I should have been gaining the knowledge for myself the whole time. And that's kind of what I feel like I kind of graduated. You know what I'm saying?
That's growth right there. That's what's up.
Yeah, but big shout out to Brian Sturdivant, you know what I mean? Like, to this day. You know what I mean? We have a little distance, you know what I'm saying? Just because it's just natural, it's life, it's like things happen, but that's always my bro, So yeah.
And I think that's kind of a culmination of a dope artist that actually wants to grow and continue to make music and be, a cultural powerhouse like you've been for Humboldt County, is that, you're not just going to settle for, just like being in a certain very specific lane of like what you're doing, when you have the capability to do more and, and self-promote yourself even further, Yeah. Like I almost kind of like, and liken it to like in the health world, you have to like self-advocate for yourself, you know what I mean? Or you might not have the best like outcome, right? I think it's the same thing in like, if you're an artist, if you're not your biggest like, promoter, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's going to be, a problem. And so for you to have grown and shown that you can do those skills, I mean, that's just growth,
Thank you, man. I like to see those as that, evolution. Man, we ain't getting no younger. We gotta gain knowledge, especially with all the resources out there, and how many people are at it, and you can't just be rapping, really, when it comes down to it. And if you're not like a young buck, like, you need to be having other things, other knowledge, at least to just be self-sustaining. Because, man, it's like having a kid. Like, for real. Always compared it to having a kid. Because it's it costs money, costs time, effort, stress, sacrifices, relationships, with no guarantee of return. You do it because you love that child, You're not guaranteed to birth and raise the next Einstein, you know what I'm saying? But you love that child, So it's kind of that same thing.
Yep.
So
now I'm definitely a big guy into brands, and like folks, promoting their brands like that, and I think that nowadays with social media and the way the digital age has made so many tools at your fingertips, like you were just kind of talking about, right? Like, I think that it's only natural to be able to take some of those things into your own hands. You know, like there's definitely the level of like, you know, at some point in time, like I see the artists out there that when they get us to a certain point, they're going to like start paying people for doing their social media and stuff like that. But until that point, like it's straight up you. And what's really dope about that is you get to have that personal connection with your fans and with the people. And that's what folks really enjoy. Yeah. You know?
Oh, for sure. When the artist or, you know, entertainer to fan interaction, that means a lot. Yeah, just even if they like a post or if they comment back, you know. And again, shout out Brian for that too. You know, he was the one, because I was hella lazy with my social media, you know. I wouldn't post a lot. I still don't, comparatively. But he always, you know, was saying, like, you have to post. You have to share this. You have to keep it going. Just content. And, you know, so I finally kind of got that, especially nowadays. Like, it's all content, you know. It's kind of hard to think of content. Like, I can't just post to post. You know, I still can't get myself to do that. I got like one foot in the old school, like, you know, it's always gonna be like that. You know, I've adapted, but I'm not a prolific poster by any means still. But you gotta know how to market yourself. It's a brand. You gotta make it cleaner than it was last year. That's how what I've been on since day one. It's just putting in the time and the effort and learning as I go along.
And I feel like you've been holding it down the last definitely few years, bro. I've been seeing you on like the social media holding it down. Like the videos you post, that short form video content is what's up right now, you know. And I think you dialed in on that. And you've been putting out some dope videos, you know, whether it's like, you know, branding and stuff like that. I saw you with like, you know, busting out the vernacular shirt with that Humphrey Dogard shirt that you got on right there, you know.
Support the homies.
Yeah, man. That's what's up right there. That's Humboldt County, you know what I'm saying?
That's very
collaboration. Well, I remember when I first met you, that was one of the coolest things because you were telling me that you were, you know, collaborating with so many different people, you know, like, you know, and it's not even just like, you know, maybe the friends that you've had, like you branched out and you supporting all kinds of different people in Humboldt County.
Hey, man, I try. I don't like to, you know, be too proud or any of that. I try to be as supportive as I can, you know. I'm in my lane. I'm very much focused and kind of head down, like driven, but I like to see my people around here have integrity in what they do and put out good product. And when I see it, like I'm there for it, you know. And
that's what's up.
Yeah, man. Like new artists coming up, you know, if they want to tap in, I'm here, you know, and I'm there at shows and shit.
That's inspiring though, man, because like as a new artist, you know, if I was coming up as a new artist, I mean, even just me doing this podcast like that, right? You know, I'm not an artist, but I'm just somebody who's coming up, you know what I mean, getting something done in the scene, right? Like just to be able to be blessed to have, like you said, you at a show. You know what I mean? Like, that's a blessing. Whether or not, you know, if I was a new artist and you out at my show, like, I'm just like, just to see you out there like that, I'm like, oh, that's what's up, you know? Like, that's supporting the community, you know?
Yeah, man. I never kind of pictured, like, that day where people look at me like that, you know? I've always been, like, that dude, you know? Because above me was Potluck and Garth and the Freestyle Kings and Subsab. Oh, yeah, Subside, I don't know. I think they might be my generation. I think they might actually be my generation. But we had them, you know, we had Potluck out here being, you know, they were superstars in our eyes, man.
Yeah.
They helped propel a lot of what all of us is, you know, doing now, have been. So, yeah, man, I know that feeling. And when someone like that fucks with you in any way, that does something for you as an artist. Yeah, that gives you a charge that you're gonna need in the years to come if you keep pursuing it. It's like, because you're gonna get pummeled with so many lows and letdowns and anticlimactic moments even, you know, that when you get those moments, those real ones, like a look from someone or just anything, it's like you take it to heart. I took it to heart. You know, there's definitely, you know, we're talking about like from the jump, like early experiences. I have a lot of them, man. Just like little moments that just kept me going. You know.
Hey, I mean, I'd love to hear about any that you remember, cuz.
Shit, I'm gonna crack you, man.
Now that's what's up right there. Drink champs.
Let's go.
Cheers,
Quick Thomas Slime. Yeah, man. Sure, let's go.
Shit. Cheers, bro.
Man. Yeah, man. I mean, shit, dude. I guess from the very beginning, I got to start there, cause I wasn't born in Humboldt. I'm a Bay baby.
Okay.
So yeah, I was born in Walnut Creek.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Contra Costa, and then Concord, and I think eventually to Modesto. These are all within the first 4 years of my life.
Okay.
Kind of moving around. So it was my dad, my mom, me, and my sister, my little sister. Things went south with that relationship. There was a lot of turmoil, and my mother had her demons that she was dealing with, and she left, and that left me, my dad, and my sister, which is very, very kind of uncommon. I guess it's kind of like the baby mama drama, but it switched around a little bit. So yeah, after that, Dad went bankrupt. We were forced to move and travel and kind of be on the road. We were staying hotel to hotel, all in California, for probably about, I don't know, half a year. And then that's when my dad found his way up to Humboldt, where we checked into the homeless shelter in Arcata. So that was my first residence. So yeah, man, she was nuts, man. I was about 5, my sister was 3, and then my dad he was a musician. Rest in peace, Nate Kaplan. He was a musician. Thank you. He was in many groups like Buddy Brown and the Hound Dogs, like legendary blues group.
Dope.
That did Summerfest back in the day. He's yeah, man. He got a job at KXGO, the radio station, and he slowly kind of just built us up. And we got from the homeless shelter to apartments, and then from apartment to a little bit decent, a little better apartment. You know, we struggled the single parentship, but so that's Humboldt. I've been in Humboldt since I was 5, and
that's what's up.
Yeah, man. So skip ahead a little bit. About age 13 is when hip hop found me, and about 7th, 8th grade, something like that. Just shit that was out there in the mainstream at first. You know, I was big into like Bad Boy Records and Death Row and shit like that, Nas, and so that was my early Bone Thugs. Yeah. So those were my early introductions. And then I just fell in love with it. Like I loved it. I couldn't it's been on since 8th grade. And I think that's when I wrote my first rap.
Nice.
So yeah. Trash ass 8th grade rap, you know.
But you was a part, you know, from the start.
Yeah, man. I wanted to be a part of it, man. And my dad was a musician. He had the whole studio set up in his house, and I was fucking around making beats, you know, too, and just trying my hand at all that. And man, just been doing it faithfully, man. Like first kind of bringing it out into like little, sometimes it'd be like projects in school for like language arts or English or something, or history or something, where you have to do some kind of artistic presentation. I think I've done like songs, you know, back in the day.
Dope.
Yeah, just getting that first dose of like criticism or just having an audience, being vulnerable.
That's right.
You know, so. But
you got a taste of it early. That's dope, though. You put your feet in, you know?
Yeah, man. 13, 14, I definitely knew that this was it. This was the shit like that I wanted to do. And so with that, my dad was recording local rappers. Yeah, so this is a big thing that that is kind of like not really known in every circle around here. But my dad had a big part of the music scene and in the hip hop scene. People like OEB, Free Jack. Those are the big bros. You know what I mean? Don Juan. Man, these were all rappers that were coming to my house when I was like 8th grade, freshman. And like they'd come over to record. My dad would be the engineer.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. So I was hyped. Every time I was hyped. I would come out with my notepad and just start rhyming, or like at least come up with ideas and shit, and just seeing that firsthand. You know what I mean? Those are the big bros, man. They were already doing their thing, and there was like their movement back then. This is early 2000s, and there was the radio station, The Party. It was like a straight hip hop station. This was the first time it happened, and it's not still standing, obviously. But Greg Mack from L.A., who rocked with Eazy-E, I think he put him on or something like that. He's the one that founded it, and they brought a lot of people here. My dad ended up working for that radio station.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. And then shit just came up. Shit came up like The Party bringing like Lazy Bone from Bone Thugs up, right? And my dad was put in charge of like picking them up and trying to drop them off at the show and so on and so forth. So
you were exposed,
right? So when I was talking about like those little moments, right? To bring it back what we were saying about just those little moments that help you, that just it's like a charge for you artistically to keep on. Man, like I was too young to get into the Lazy Bone show. So my dad brought him to our house after the show, and they scooped me up and they brought me on their tour bus and shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And then the next day, they had a day off, and Lazy Bone and his crew came over to our house and barbecued all day, all Sunday.
What?
Yeah, like literally.
Oh,
this shit is
man
for like a 14-year-old, man. Like this is insanity.
Crazy.
Insanity. So
that's cred right there, cuz.
See, kind of like I go off on little tangents or whatever. I'm not used to interviews and shit, but you kind of see how these things come together. How like seeing the local rappers record and get down, seeing these big names come in. It was just an amalgamation of just things that just put that bug in me. Like, just, man, I never let go.
That's what's up.
Good or bad, maybe to my detriment, you know what I mean? But this has been it. So
nah, I don't think it's to your detriment, bro. I mean, like you said, you've like I said, man, you've taken it and you've ran with it, and like I said, created legend status for yourself just through being consistent. I think I've seen people that try to make some music and then don't last, because they don't really have it in their heart. It's not like attached to their heart like it is with you, like it sounds like.
That's a tough one, man. It's a tough one to stick with. And yeah, you have to love it. It can't be a superficial relationship you have with art. I mean, it can be a hobby status. But it's another thing when you have bills and you have a family, you have responsibilities. It's hard. And especially the environment you're in. We're in like Humboldt. It's kind of like I don't know how to say it, man. Humboldt's an interesting place. It's lots of layers to it. It's like the onion, and it could be like quicksand. You can fall fall victim to you know, the tools that are around here to bring you down, like substances of all kinds, and it's just the lack of motivation sometimes. A lot of things, man. It's hard. It's just hard in general, man. to keep that love for it. But
I feel you.
Yeah.
It separates you from the rest of them, though. You know, because you got it in your heart. You got it in your blood too.
I do. That is true, man. That's a big part of it, is the lineage of musicians. Because my dad was like the odd one out of the three siblings, right? He was the middle child, and he discovered marijuana and loved that. And he loved, jazz music, and he was that kid,
Yeah.
We love you, but you're kind of fuck up. You're kind of a fuck up. We don't understand what you're doing.
And to, in the busy, work today world, you're a fuck up, but I think it's all perspective, man.
Yeah, very much so. Because, my dad was, best dad ever, you know what I mean? But, yeah, he went that route. So he was the artist. He's the creative heart. And just passed that directly down to me. Like, because before I was rapping, like, I was drawing. Like, literally, drawing in pencil, so it was always something, and rap took that over. Like,
pen game changed up.
The pen game changed up. There it is. Yeah, man. So yeah, it's in me, man. That's all. I'm a creative mind. I'm not like a mathematical mind. I feel like there's kind of like two types of brains in a way.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not good at like number crunching and memorizing and all that shit. I like creating, But
yeah, man, that's energy, bro, on a real. And like creators, that's the thing, is that like it's not easy to create like that. You know what I'm saying? When you're like on the other side, but like you're talking about with like number crunching and stuff, like that's like structure. There's like structure, and there's like a way, and there's not that much to it. Like creation is like, it's a whole nother thing where you're coming up. It's like, I had one interview with Eli Fowler, right? And he was that's just talking. Yeah. That's the bro. He was talking about creating these moments, right? And there's a power that you have when you can create those moments. It's so much that people don't, even understand unless they're able to do it.
Right. Eli is one of those dudes. Talk about creating a moment. I know what you're talking about too. He's the master. Like people like him and Knack and Swizzlow. They create moments right there in front of your eyes. Like that's where I gotta give them all the props, all the praise, because I'm not that kind of artist. I'm more of like an introvert, and I like to have my thing. You know what I mean? Not to say I can't get up and freestyle, but I like, I let other motherfuckers do that. But they can come up with entire songs right there, hook, everything. It's crazy, man. It's like it's so many different lanes in here too, and it's like we don't have to be riding every day together, but it's all love all the time. And then when we do intersect and we do cross, man, we make even more magic, man. Yeah. We've gotten busy, man. We've gotten busy over the years, so. That's
what's up.
Yeah.
So I know you've done tracks with the Fantastic Family.
Yeah. Well, definitely with Knack 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then Vernacular with his son. Yeah, definitely. Over the years, yeah, man. And that's my big bro in real life. Like, shit.
Coming from the Bay as well.
Berkeley, man. Richmond and all that. So, and he's a Pisces like me. So, but we just had each other's back, like on some like real life shit. You know what I mean? I don't want to be too specific. I don't know. It's Hill life. It's that shit. Humboldt Hill life. He got me some opportunities and shit, and that really freed me up to do what I wanted to do at the time. And then shit, if I can give him a big up somehow too, I'm gonna do that. So we've had it like that, and then artistically we mesh, and yeah, that's the big bro. That's the big bro.
That's what's up. I love that kind of collaboration around here, man. That's Humboldt right there, community,
Yeah.
And I gave Knack props, just because he really put me on. Like, Knack, this podcast probably wouldn't even exist at this point if it wasn't for Knack One telling Swizzlo about the podcast and what I was doing, and then he shared it, and then you saw it, and then that's when I first met you. You were like, oh yeah, I saw it from Knack One. Right. And that's why I said I got a lot of respect for Knack, because he's putting folks on. Like him, Swizz, they've been just like putting folks on constantly because they know what the culture's about.
For sure, man. They're down 110%. Not a hating bone in their body. They love to see people elevate, and they set good standards. It's always class with them, like musically and just like on a human level. Like this Humble and Humboldt is, this should kind of go together, and they are like the representation of that for sure. Like much better men than me. You know what I'm saying?
We all got our own lane,
Yeah, but nah, man, those are the homies, man. Yeah, all the bros, bro.
So you've been, doing music around here since, like you said, around the days of around when Subsab was doing it. And so that's, a lot of years of making music, man. Like,
for sure.
I've seen a lot of your albums on Spotify,
right.
And so that's just like leading up. You dropped that album, Council Culture, last year, right?
Yeah. Damaged Goods and Council Culture.
Yeah.
Same year, yeah.
2 albums in the same year, that's right.
Word, yeah, full length. Yeah, man. Working. But yeah, so part of when I came into the scene for real, when I was about 19 and meeting Brian and people like that, Diamondback, that's when I had a 4-track recorder that my dad bought me. It's a shit, man. They can't see how big, but it's probably, I don't know, maybe like 10 inches. It's just this little recorder, right? Mm-hmm. And I would just low beats in that motherfucker, and I'd have 4 tracks to work with, and I didn't know how to kind of access all the cool little bells and whistles to it, so I was stuck with 4 tracks. And so I was recording full mixtapes on that thing, and just getting the hang of it. It taught me a lot, like taught me mic distance. It taught me to be resourceful. It taught me to be good with my punch-ins. It taught me to have good breath control. So many things. And so I was making these mixtapes, the Way High certified mixtapes. I think I did like 6 of them on this 4-track recorder.
That's crazy.
Released them. They're still on DatPiff too. You know what I mean? Really, really rough recordings, but there was a lot of heart in them. And there's still people to this day that come up and be like, "Yo, dude, the song of mine called Nothing Really Matters, man. That still gets me to this day. I'll be jamming him." I'm like, God damn. That was like from the first mixtape.
Damn.
First mixtape. I'm talking about like 06, something like that.
Damn, okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
Young buck. So, and I just kept on doing those, man. And then that was practice. Like, I felt like that was schooling for me. And I never wanted to be, too big for my britches and think I was the shit. I was figuring it out. We don't have a lot of shit to compare. It's like, it's not being in New York hip-hop scene where it's like a whole fucking very multi-dimensional kind of environment to base off of, you know, the hip hop shit. You have to reach, if you're from Humboldt, you kind of have to look outward to gain knowledge of the real hip hop culture, and kind of bring it back. You know, hence, you know, Knack One's story, how like their OG was from New York and trained them on the writing style, and they brought that to Cali. You know what I mean? So it's so I was just getting the hang of it, and just based on what I was influenced by, and really studying it and having an appreciation for the culture first. You know what I mean? That was established early on for me. Like, no superficial love. Like, I'm talking about like last poets. You know what I mean? Like the ancestry to hip hop.
For real.
And shit like that. So that's what I was doing in those years, and simultaneously kind of being thrown at the wolves, you know, and doing shows and shit.
For real?
Yeah, man. So I think my first show was in Fortuna, this place called Out of the Sun. Maniac brought it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Performed there. That's where I met the Dirty Rats, and that's.
Oh wow.
And then shit, man. At the time, man, they was kind of like the closest to my style of rapping. We didn't have the same style, but I definitely gravitated toward them dudes. You know, and they educated me a lot, and they supported me, and you know, big up to me a lot, and just one of those relationships, you know, that helped my foundation, you know. So
that's what's up.
Yeah, man. So man,
it's so interesting how looping back to that encyclopedia of the Humboldt County hip hop, right? Like the main heavy hitters on that thing, right? Like Swizzlo, you know, and Spank and everything like that when that was going on. Then the Freestyle Kings, you know, and then Sub-Sab, Dirty Rats. It's like we've been talking about these dudes, and you guys have all like collaborated and like supported each other, you know, in certain ways.
Right.
That's something that I don't feel like, unless I'm wrong, I don't see it happening in every different like area that's got like a decent hip hop, you know, like scene. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, there's certain areas you go and people are all just hungry. Like, and you got that around here too, where folks are just hungry and they're not, you know, maybe even making the right decisions, you know. Like I think that a lot of the times people, whether you grew up around here or came in from out of the area, people will just try to like silo themselves off and like be like, okay, well, for whatever reason, I'm not going to collaborate with like this obviously like existing culture. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's a bad move from the start. Like, I think you have better results if you come in showing respect, you know, learning what you need to learn about like, you know, the legends like yourself, like what folks like the Dirty Rats have been doing. You know what I mean? You're gonna come in and be able to do a whole lot more if you come in respectful and trying to just like learn, you know, compared to coming in and, you know, trying to, you know, put your flag in the sand where, you know, you're not even from here. Like, you got dudes like you that have been here since you were young. You know, you got dudes like Eli who's, you know, grew up here. Right. You know, so.
Man, and on that note, shout out to my bro C. Baker, who's like the shining example of that. You know, moved out here from Florida, but approaches it with so much respect and love. Again, not a hateful bone in his body. And he was an outsider. He came in. He's an import like most of us, you know, myself included. But and he's the example of like how to do that. You know, he puts down for the culture and celebrates everybody and does things for the community. He has his own studio that you can rent out. Like, yeah,
that's what's up.
Dynasty Studios. Yeah, man.
I saw he just did some work with Droop, Dr. Droop.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so all the Arcata homies too. Yeah, dude. Rude, like Not a Crew and Rude Entertainment, Lyrical, man. Those are the homies, man. I know you've been hearing and seeing them. They've been active.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Those are all the homies.
Speaking of Rude, man, I'm gonna be in the studio probably right here next week with Assad. So yeah.
Oh word. Okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
We got it coming for y'all, man.
Hell yeah. That's the broski right there, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Him and Track and Lance, man. Shit.
been holding it down.
Talented dudes, man. Yeah, those are the dudes right there, and their shows go off every time. They actually are like making a scene, because some people argue that there's no like kind of like entertainment scene or nightlife scene in Humboldt. It's like, nah, actually, you go to these shows, man, they packed and they're fun. The music's good. You're not like trying to enjoy yourself. You actually genuinely enjoying yourself. Like,
that's what's up.
And I think we were talking about how people come here and support and collab. It's just like, because we realize where we're at, and we realize what resources we have and we don't. But we see a lot of like-minded people. So we're just like, hey, you doing it seriously? Me too. Let's, you know what I mean? Let's do it. Like, that's kind of thing with me. Like, as long as you're serious, and you're humble about it, you're not cocky, you know, then, you know, I'm down. Like it just, I like organic relationships. To be honest, like I like when I end up on the same bill as someone, and then we build from there about, you know, doing a collab or something like that. Or it just depends. But yeah, man, there's, you know, we bring our heads together a lot more than we don't, you know. And it's like, yeah.
I think that's a big part of why the scene just keeps on rolling as strong as it has been.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, Humboldt hip hop has really not stopped, you know?
Nah, definitely not. Definitely not, man.
And I know you got some stuff in the clip. I want to bet.
Bro. I do. I'm always working on stuff. I've never stopped.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean? I will never try to take the title as best anything, but I can argue that I am the most consistent in Humboldt. I can argue that. I think I can claim that. Mm-hmm. And motherfuckers will vouch, because anytime you ran into Hiway, anytime you ran into Aaron, and ask what's going on, what's been up to, music, working on music. It's like, you know, they know. Like on a human level, like Humboldt County people, they know what's up with Aaron. Like, I live and breathe this shit, you know. So
that's what's up.
Yeah, man. Always been working on stuff, man. And so, like, kind of back to the story.
Yes, sir.
My bad.
Nah, you're cool.
So I'm doing all those mixtapes and shit like that. Back then, I was running around with a group called Thick Family. I think they was in that hip hop book.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. I'm not sure. I can't remember if I was in there in the book as solo, also. But I definitely remember being in there as part of the Thick Fam. Mm-hmm. And we was shit, man. Early like 2006 to 2011 ish, kind of is the era. And we was killing. We was doing hella shows all the time. There was big events. Another group that we were coming up with at the same time was North Bay Riders. Yeah, man.
They were dope.
Rock, Paris, and Mac Joe, and Newski. Shit, man.
They got some history, man.
Oh, dude, they was introducing the hyphy movement into the North Bay, hence the North Bay Riders. So there was like that whole kind of that lane too, and it makes perfect sense. We're California, we're, you know, only a few hours from the Bay, you know, so it's like all that exists, and it exists together. Like you got North Bay Riders, hyphy stuff. You got Sub-Sap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you got people like me, where I'm not either of those per se. You know? So yeah. We were running around doing a lot of shows. Red Fox Tavern.
Yeah.
Red Fox Tavern, Swizz owned that at one point. Put us a lot of us on. The Mateel. Shout out to Mateel, everyone working there.
Yeah. Dude, the Thick Family was big, man.
Thick Family, we had a little buzz going. Yeah, man. Those are my dudes. and we was all solo artists before that. So, and we just came together. That's kind of how it goes. It should be like that. You can't just be a group guy. You got to be able to hold your own. But so we did our thing for a few years, and we all around. We went different ways, but we all here.
Yeah.
And that's part of the growth, man. And these all represent chapters in my life and my growth and development. So no matter what I am and what I'm not doing, who I'm with or not with, like they represented something in my life. So I never try to downplay the history, because I don't want to. Definitely not gonna say like, yeah, it was, anything I've achieved is all me. Nah, man. I had a lot of looks from people, like a lot of boosts. Shit, around that time, like I said, Potluck was popping, and so we reached out, and ultimately I wanted to work with them. So but I understand, time is money and it's business. So I was their poster runner. So that's how I kind of got like my stripes out here. Like,
that's what's up.
For real. Like,
yeah.
They'd be like, okay, we're doing a show at the Mateel with so-and-so headlining or whatever. You could be on it, you know what I mean? Run these posters. I'm like, fucking hell yeah. I'm like 21, 22, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Trinidad to fucking Garberville with posters, jumping out of cars, stapling the fucking telephone poles, running from the cops, fucking, and also developing relationships with all the local businesses and getting posters inside there. And so I was learning that promo and that marketing, building that business relationship. And then, I got a Potluck feature from it. I got on some shows. It's just like, that was... that was the grinding. That was like being the soldier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Putting in the work. So
that's what's up.
And then just kept leading on. I'm taking cues from people before me. Like they all had great sounds. Shit was polished. Didn't sound amateur. Sounded like mainstream music. So that's what I aimed to do. And then that's when I transitioned from that little 4-track recorder to a real studio. That's where I still record to this day. It's Universal Balance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shout out my man Pete Dalmona, the engineer, man. He's just as much Hiway as Hiway is Hiway. Like, you know what I mean? By
the
now.
Engineer's important. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's my man. So my sound is. That's where it comes from. So that was the evolution, man. Just like from the bedroom, like remember, writing rhymes and all that, and just emulating and being starstruck until I, started having a working mind of my own. I just polished it more and more. It's like I trained myself kind of how to do shit like sing and chop rap, like fast rap, just by trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Most consistent rapper in this motherfucker, bro.
That's what's up. That's what's up right there.
Straight up. I never took a break.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
So those are some dope, I'm just gonna describe them as families, right? Some dope families you dealt with, from the Thick family, right, to Potluck you was fucking with, right? So when you were with when Big Daddy was doing your managing, right? Mm-hmm. Like, was he a part of the Thick family too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It was all just it was like a collective kind of. Mm-hmm. We had because you'd be the manager and promoter. We had a DJ. Yeah, man. It was kind of like that. And then North Bay Riders was kind of like the extension. Like we considered them Thick family. There was their own thing, but. That's how close we rode together and shit. Like,
that's dope.
Fuck.
North Bay Riders were dope, man. They were not to be fucked with, man.
No, man, and they were
hard.
They really showed that you could have that energy, man. Like, it was a different energy. It's like there's plenty of people that move here from the Bay. You're talking to one. Yeah, man. They had crowds going. Like, I remember some shows. Man, yeah.
It's crazy how time changes, man. I remember that too, man. Like that seems like a while ago now, man, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, it was.
It wasn't that long ago, but it seems like that was like 20 years ago.
Oh, man, it's crazy. It's crazy, dude. Yeah, I'm like, what?
Man,
it doesn't feel like that at all. No, but
I know that's a lot that's happened. You know, I feel like a lot has happened. You know, like the last maybe like 10 years. It's just like so much shit.
Word.
But like you said, man, you stayed consistent, holding it down for Humboldt County hip hop. You're still, I mean, I'm seeing you at shows like every month, I want to say at this point. You know, the pandemic slowed everybody down, right? But now that things are going again, I mean, you've done outside. Like a bunch of shows already.
We back outside for sure. Yeah. I've been blessed with that. People know what's up. Sometimes I approach people that are throwing the shows. Sometimes they approach me. You know, it's gotten like that. And then we just, you know, we got the heavyweights like Knack and Flo J and Object Heavy and, you know, all the homies I just listed. You know, that whole list, man. It's yeah. They know who to get in contact with, man. And it's cool, even from the big shows to the little ones, like the bars or something like that. You know, just like a intimate show at like the Siren Song, man. I mean, you know, pop up and do a set there. You know, yeah, all sorts of shit, man.
I'm glad that it's rolling in. You know, it was about time. You know, folks need that. You know, folks need that kind of just energy. I mean, I'm a fan of live music, just period. I love going to concerts, you know. So it was just like almost like this depressive period of just not being able to just like live and do what you really enjoy doing, you know, because it's that two-way flow between what you're doing when you perform and you're on stage and you're giving your energy, right? And then the fans are giving their energy back too, you know, and then it just keeps going like that, you know, and those are some of the best shows when there's a good flow.
It's a very symbiotic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a big part that entertainers and artists were missing, but like the pandemic, you know, I took that as time to do like behind the scenes work, make moves and shit. I can't do shows. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's when I got the whole Tech 9 shit popping.
Now that's what's up. I wanted to get into that. I'd love to hear about, you know, because that's one of the things when when you're fucking with somebody like Tech 9, it was that come up. Your numbers were on the way up, and then when that Tech 9 hit. Bam, just like it's that kind of thing.
It's retarded,
yeah. Certain names and certain things just really, you know, with the algorithm how it is nowadays and shit like that.
Yeah,
you know, it'll just like propel you. You know,
it's brought a lot of positive to my career for sure. I've had moments in my career, you know, from my first album, Roadside Assistance, like my homegirl that was a model, she did a video twerking and playing Grand Theft Auto while my song's playing in the background.
Oh shit.
And it made it onto World Star and then TMZ. So technically I've been on TMZ. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that made it on the TMZ?
Yeah,
that's
you
crazy.
can still, I still have the clip. It's crazy. It's like, so there was like moments like that. And then, you know, there was another collab that went pretty well. This guy called the Joker. But these were moments, but see, they were like, I can't really own those moments fully. You know, like I just wasn't fulfilling. They helped, but that's not what my little, you know, glory is. You know, I have to keep going. Yeah. And then really yeah, man. I just want to. Man, where am I going with it?
Well, and that's the glorious.
Shit.
You've been consistent.
Yeah.
You kept it going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that way you keep that opportunity moving to have those different moments.
Mm-hmm.
And those kind of things are like, those touch people, you know? Like those are like lasting things where like, you know, not only, you know, for the people that live in Humboldt County that are following you on Instagram and following you on Facebook, you know, like not only do they get a chance to talk to you by just like messaging you and stuff like that, right? But then they remember like, man, like Hiway was on World Star. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's those kind of little moments where that stuff adds up, you know? And for the folks that just hop out of it, you know what I'm saying? They don't have that opportunity to even get there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, they're moments, man. They're moments. But I knew there was better moments to be had. So
that's what's up.
I just finally in recent years got to a point where I could facilitate that such as a feature from Tech, you know, and really that all comes from the love of it too. That's not for views, you know. It's not, as much as we like to have those, that wasn't what it was for. You know what I mean? That was like that was coming off of the death of my dad, who just passed extremely unexpectedly. Just like there was no time to react. This was 2019. I had just finished recording my Carpool album. It was set to be released. No, it had been released like a week, 5 days or something like that, and then he passed. So I was like a whole album that I couldn't even promote just because I was in that shit. And,
for real.
You know what I mean? So, fuck. That was, late August 2019, and then the pandemic happened February, March 2020. Right?
Yeah.
So talking about like a 6 month gap or something like that.
Yeah.
And not only my dad, but then my grandpa, his dad died a couple months later, just couldn't, you know what I mean? So it was just like strikes. And I needed this shit, you know? And just the way things unfolded. Like, my dad got to work with his fucking idol growing up right before he passed and shit. So I'm like, this is what I'm doing now. Like, I'm gonna fucking carry this torch and I'm gonna do this shit. Like, especially now, it's like the mortality thing you think about more and more as everyone passes, you know, at least with me. Like, so I could let my little paranoia and oversensitivity rule, or I can just be on this locomotive train that I've been on, you know. That's what I chose to do. And so I chose to work with one of my idols in the biggest way possible. Have all the squad there. You know what I mean? My squad, shout out the gas station. You know what I mean? Those are my dudes. You know what I mean? We're kind of a collective. You know, that's what we call ourselves. But, you know, just creating the moments that you need for your soul, dude. And it's like everything I do comes from a real place. I try to, you know. So I think it reflects that, you know.
I think so too, man.
Yeah.
Nah, that's dope, man. Like, you know, one of the things about it is that flow that I was talking about earlier, where you're giving yourself at, like, let's say a show or for your music, and then the fans are returning some of that energy, right? And it's that flow is something that doesn't get enough light, I think, nowadays, is that creators, like, that's a drain on creators, like your creative energy. Like, it's not just like the same thing as just like going and working a job where you're just doing something, the same kind of little bullshit all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, the energy drain is something different. And I think creators need a lot of space to be able to recharge, you know what I mean? And fill their cups back up. You know, and people don't think about that. Like, it's just always, you know, just like expecting from, you know, the artists and the people that you're seeing out there, you know. It's just that grind and that, like, yeah, you were talking earlier about, like, you know, you just got to keep on posting on the social media. It's just like people want, like, it's like this, it's consumption, right? And like, you get consumed up And so people don't realize that the artists are the people that really need to be recharging the most, and getting that self-care time in and creating not the moments, like you said, not the moments for the audience, because they're going to get those moments when they're, in a show or listening to some dope music, but creating those moments for the artist, like that's beauty. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's beauty when you can heal a healer, when you can heal an artist like that. Like that's real beauty, and that's not easy to be done. And I feel like artists like you that have been doing a lot for a long time around here, like one of the good things about Humboldt County is that it can be a bit of a healing atmosphere in certain ways, Yeah. I don't know whether it's just the land or, just the energy that's coming up out of the earth mixed with like the people, you know what I'm saying? And the energy coming off of them. But it can be healing around here, you know?
It definitely can. That's a side of it for sure. Yeah.
Mixed with that other side, right, of just consumption of folks just like, just wanting this and needing this from you. Two
sides, but it's all what you seek out too, man. I know plenty of people that no matter what's going on, they don't let that shit affect them. But then I see people that, can't get off of something, There's all sorts of shit, but I feel you, man. The supporters are definitely around here mean the world to us. Cause that's some stand-up shit, Cause there's something about like a security or comfort in when like people listen to mainstream shit because they know it's what everyone else is, and there's a comfort in that. So for someone to be jamming to what you do locally and do it faithfully, not just because you're homies or nothing, but especially when you're not homies, that's when I love it too, man, because they don't owe me shit. They're saying it because that's what they feel. That's a huge experience every time. And I'll always give people the time of day, chat with them and talk to them. Even if my mind is over here performing or whatever, I'm gonna try to give them, their time and talk to them, look them in the eye and have a real conversation, be humble, and really thank them, because they could be anywhere but they here with you. We most definitely reciprocate from it, man. We give them something to be proud of around here and have and likewise, man, we're nothing without them, So just because we're not in LA with all the other competition doesn't mean that we can't have the same pride in our work. That's what I don't want to be dope for Humboldt. I want to be dope. Like straight the fuck up. You know what I mean? I want to be comparable to these people that I'm listening to and shit. But just like people showed me, like Potluck, they showed me that was a way. Even Sarah Bareilles. Eureka girl.
Yeah.
Come on, man. She big.
Yeah.
People like that, just, they inspire. It's like, dude, it could be fucking done. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Fuck, couple football players. You know what I mean? Shit. Mo Carlo and people like that. We got athletes coming from here too. There's that part of it too, man. We got a lot of people just doing community shit here.
Yep.
But it's like we're seldom seen. I think we got like some little notoriety from the Murder Mountain show and shit like that here and there. We get touched, we get spoken about here and there, and they know about the weed and shit. But yeah, there's lots of shit going on. Lots
of shit, man. Yeah. And I think that's real. I'm really glad you brought that up, Hiway, because that's one of the things that I actually, started this podcast for, is that there is this vibrant culture that you guys have created, and I don't think it's getting the shine when the thing that people outside this county and state know Humboldt County for is like you said, those Netflix specials, right? Murder Mountain and Pot City, USA, right? And things like that have gone on, but there's a whole nother side to Humboldt County. There's so much money that's spent on the arts per capita, more than any place in this country, and like there's so much hip hop, there's so much music, there's just so much art.
Yeah, I would love to see kind of like a documentary of the scene, man, because it's an interesting one. It's got like a lot of lineage, and you could see it. Especially if you were like look at that hip hop book, you see where everything was birthed, how, where, who nurtured that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Fuck, man.
Going all the way back to like Manifest, right? Like,
right, man. Man, I was in high school hearing about that, dude. Like, we didn't see no rappers coming out with CDs. You used to see CD at FYE, I think. Or Sam Goody at the time.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that was like the first time I actually man. Shit like that. And my big bro, Free Jack, putting out. I mean, that's a Richmond cat, but he has a lot of actual blood family up here. You know what I mean? They all good. A lot of them are good friends of mine too. So it's like the OGs in Humboldt and shit, and Freestyle Kings. Shit,
Did you ever go to a Freestyle King show?
No, there was a little bit before.
Oh, okay.
Before me being in the scene, I wasn't outside like that.
You're coming up still though. You were in school, like unless I'm getting the timeline wrong.
Yeah, I was probably like high schoolish.
With Lazy Bone in there.
With Lazy Bone in there. Yeah. No, I just wasn't out there yet, and but that was all to come, man. Shit, like, and then like the Diamondback family, and it's like, man, Ole Pearson, shouts out to the big bro, man. He gave a lot of us a lot of opportunities. Like, there's no downplaying that. You ask a lot of cats. Like, I don't know if you've heard of the Humboldt Storms compilation. He put that out. Around that time for 2005 maybe, 2000, something like that, somewhere around there. But it had like potluck. It was a compilation. It had potluck with the Loonies, potluck with Tech Nine, Garth Vader with Spice One. Garth Vader and Swizzlo with Tech Nine. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Okay, that was on Garth's project, because that song was on Garth's project. Unpredictable. But Garth, this was a compilation that Diamondback put out, Ole Pearson. And it had all these rappers, Lil Sick. You know what I mean? That, rest in peace to her, man. She was the first lady of Humboldt. She was the first MC that was really out here getting shine. She passed away some years back, but there's quite a bit of others people. LCA, I cannot forget them. Damn, that took a while to fucking. I'm sorry, those are my bros too. LCA, lower class alcoholics. They were the first really repping Eureka. You know what I mean? They was a group, and they was wild. They was out there like thugging out. they was out in Eureka. That was a whole other scene, and they got shit popping too. And they put on, and actually they mentored me, like personally. Like they used to invite me to their rehearsals for shows and watch them and practice with them. And then like Mental Case from LCA, like he'd make the beats, and then you had the three of them at the time, all rhyming. Him, Mental Case, J-Bo, and Kaz J. So they took me under their wing, and they got me on a lot of the same shows they were. And then they broke up, and me and Kaz J, Jose, and we formed a duo called Never Die. And this was probably like 2011, 2012. We started doing our things, but with all those contacts, like especially him, he was a business dude. He had those contacts like with Oli and shit. So we was all banding together, and we had something between all of us. We had something, you know.
Oh yeah.
But life happens. Humboldt happens. It could be like quicksand, you know, or people just outgrow the shit, and that's understandable too. You know, I just recently had a conversation with Oli after a few years, man. And he just like saying, man, I had to take a break from it because I felt that I didn't love the shit anymore. And that's why I got into it for it. He's like, and then by stepping back, I'm able to listen to shit and get hype about it again. It's like, totally understand that, bro.
Fully.
It's like, you know, but it's like, that's even more. So it's like you can't depend on motherfuckers. Like I can't just be like, Oli, when is... Nah, Oli seen that through the years, man. I took what he gave us and inspired me with, and I kept fucking running. I kept running with that baton. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about, bro. Keeping people motivated around here, man. They need it. They need it, man. Humboldt can be bleak, you know what I mean? So
we need y'all like that, man. Influencers like you know, leading the way, inspiring, motivating folks, you know. That's one of the things, like, now that you're, you know, still doing it and you've been consistent as you have been, and you've, you know, like I said, with that last interview that I just did with Maniac, you know, they were giving you like props, you know, and thanking you for collaborating with them, you know what I'm saying? And like, you got this new generation of artists that are, you know, they're learning the game, struggling, and they're looking up to you, you know what I'm saying? And so if you were to give, you've already dropped a lot of bars tonight, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's for sure. But like, if you were to give the young folks coming up, like just some, like just a few like sentences on like some tips, like what would you say to them?
Number one, do it because you love it. Number two, you're talking about hip hop, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have an understanding and connection and love with hip hop, and broader terms, the Black experience. You gotta understand that. You gotta understand the idea of appropriating, and you gotta understand when what you're doing is a caricature and shit, and when it's really genuinely you. So it leads me to be yourself. You know what I'm saying? So and stay consistent. Don't get discouraged, and just try to be better, man. Try to be better than you were the day before, hours before, man. I'm talking about bring the shit home from the studio, listen to it, not being stoked that you just have something, but listen as a critic. Like, what did I do strong? What did I do not so good? You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to settle. It's like, if you know there's something, like, I don't know. I'm going off, but those are the main things, you know what I'm saying? For the youngsters coming up, there's those key things, man. You're going to lose a lot if you really stick with it. You're gonna sacrifice a lot, man. I done sacrificed relationships, man. You know what I mean? Like,
real talk.
Thought I was engaged at one point practically, and it didn't work out because I couldn't give up my baby that I came into the relationship with. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's tough. It's tough, man. It's like, and I proved I'd be there, you know, and later on, I proved to her that I'm still down for her and the girls, you know what I'm saying? But that was one of them things where I'm like, it wasn't mutual, but it was. I understand why certain people, or a lot of people, can't hang with an entertainer or an artist. There's no guarantee. There's no stability, security, necessarily, for 90% of us. It's just something like a vision that we have, a dream that we have, and people want to support it, but that's what's hard. That's what's hard about meshing lives. So it's like, That's why I stay in my lane, man. Like, I don't like labels and all that shit. I'm always doing this, and people, can hang on and people can rock with me and as long as they want to. I totally understand if they can't, or if it's like, all right, well, this is my stop kind of shit. I get off here, you know what I mean? And I keep going. That's just, it comes with the game, man. There's a lot of hurt and struggling, but that's the shit that should fuel the content, Like, I draw from a lot of shit, being homeless and loss and death and all my surroundings and environment. I use that shit and I try to be as truthful as I can, man. So
that's what's up. That's bars right there, man. That's crazy. Yeah. I got a lot of respect for that, man. You dropping that's not just really, not just to even just like hip hop artists. That's live bars right there,
Live bars. Absolutely, man. If you could apply that to anything, really, you gotta be stubborn. You gotta be very stubborn to follow your passion. So you're fighting upstream, man. So it's like it makes the love that much more real. And man, I don't know where I'm going with that. You got me in my head thinking about all that, though. But
that's what's up, though. That's truth, bro.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of respect, bro. I just want to say that, this was just one episode, but you're, constantly dropping new music.
Right.
You just dropped Feeling Like Busy, bro. I was listening.
You fucking with that?
When it just came out, I was waiting on that one too, man. And then you really on there, like, I'm just like, damn, like, he knows. That's why I got a lot of respect for you and a few other folks, but you have control of your delivery down. You have control of your voice down to the point where you're able to drop it like that. Like, there's points on there where, it's where you're just sounding like busy, because you're feeling like busy, you know what I'm saying? And it's this level of like, nobody's ever going to come at it and be like, see it as anything other than that's just like, you're doing your thing and you're really channeling that energy, because anybody that hears that is gonna know, oh yeah, he's been listening to Bone his whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't a dude that just came up on like listening to Busy Bone like 2 or 3 years ago or nothing like that.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Like, you really had I don't know, bro. I ain't trying to speak on it, but you was probably like feeling that energy, listening to Bone throughout your life, you know what I'm saying? Here you are actually able to like deliver that like that.
Shit, you know what I mean? Like, I fucking had one of the Bone Thugs at my house, so but
that's right.
Yeah, but I appreciate that you appreciate that. Shit, something like that. I've always been a concept guy. That's the other thing I own. I'm about them concepts. Motherfuckers know about that. Like, I'm not necessarily the most amazing at fucking punchlines. I'm not a political rapper. I'm not a super, lovey rapper. I'm not a gangster rapper. I just have I have good concepts, and I approach them like essays and shit like that. Have a direction, have a thesis, have a body, have a conclusion. And so, like, shit like Feeling Like Busy, man, like, that's me and my concept bag. And again, from a real place, that was one of my major influences, especially being like kind of like a higher pitched rapper, you know what I mean? So even so, like, and then putting all the references, all the hidden, all the song titles in there, not just Bone Thugs, but solo Busy Bone songs and shit like that, and doing it, paying attention to detail and not doing a fucking impression and not quoting dude, but it'll sound kind of, because it's like, that's the discipline you get after years of doing it. It's like, it's surgical. Every fucking bar, every syllable, and like how you commended on the delivery and shit like that, and that goes back to that 4-track, man. That goes back to that 4-track recorder that I was doing all those mixtapes on, where I had to learn that. I had to learn about clipping from being too close. I had to learn about distance, and I had to be like, okay, dude, you got 1 track to punch in with this chorus right after this verse without cutting off the end of your verse, right? So you have to go. You know what I mean? And boom. I was taught all that and refined it over the years. I've never been one of them dudes that was like the little prodigy. You know, I didn't just pick it up and was fucking expert. You know, I wasn't a 17-year-old kid blowed up. You know what I mean? Obviously. But I learned it. And I had to learn it in all aspects, you know, and not just what I'm into, but hip hop that I'm not into, you know, everything.
What's dope though is that you learned though how to channel what was inside you already, the skills that were there, right?
Right.
And you know, I think a lot of folks, you know, I just always consider myself like a fan of music, right? And now, you know, then I'm just like always consuming. Right. But then there's the next level of the folks that have the bravery and the confidence in themselves to say, okay, I can like create, you know what I'm saying? And so like, I got respect for that, you know, because it's not just listening to Bone. Like you were actually like I was just like listening to Bone, you know, my whole life. Like you were listening to Bone, but you were soaking it in. So that way it was like creating a portion of you and like, you know, you were learning how to channel your own energy through learning that, man. Like that's what's up.
Yeah, man. I'm a student first for sure. Fan first. And that's why it's nothing that was just conjured up. You know, it wasn't like, all right, everyone else is rapping, so I'm gonna fucking rap. It was not fucking cool to be rapping in Humboldt when I came up. It wasn't. I got bullied in high school for having that kind of look and that whole, you know, and they call me shit like Big Pimpin', just jokingly, like bust a rap for me, Big Pimpin', and shit like it's like going back to that whole shit of like those people in Humboldt that don't think that it belongs here, you know.
Yep.
So I like to think that I'm integral along with these other colleagues of mine, integral in showing that that's a false narrative. This shit is very alive here and it's very worthy of being here. You know, I want a good representation. I want to rep the county right. Always, you know, always. I want to rep it better and better. You know, even if I'm reporting on the bad shit. We can't make it out alone. We gotta have the community. You know, that's everything. That's Humboldt. That's the businesses, you know. That's the weed market. That's the local businesses. It's the venues, everything. It's all a symbiotic thing. We're all parts of this one cell. So, you know, I'm doing my part, man. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm just doing.
You're holding the scene down, bro.
I'm going.
You're holding it down.
Thank you, man. I try, man. just playing my part, man. Holding down for the loved ones lost and shit like that.
That's what's up.
You know.
You got any folks you want to shout out?
Shit, I done shouted out most of you motherfuckers. I just shouted out hella motherfuckers. I think I've shouted out many Humboldt people, musicians as I can think of. Rest in peace, Mike Lee. God damn, I'm missing motherfuckers. It took me a while to even think about my mentors, LCA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But outside of that, man.
A question on LCA.
Yeah.
You were talking about Mental Case. Is that the same Mental Case that did the How We Do This album with Eli Fowler? Oh,
yes. Man. Of course. There you go. See?
Yeah.
There's only like a degree or two of separation
for real
around here.
That album is dope, man.
Oh man.
And that's my first taste of Mental Case, so I need to check out LCA now.
Oh man, come on. Bottom of the Bottle, I believe this album. Oh man, that was when they had that's when at the height of their shit, when they had gotten their shit figured out. It's like, okay. And you could hear Garth is on there. OEB is on there. Like the big bro that recorded in my house. Mm-hmm. It's all, and it's like, these motherfuckers, like, like LCA and them, they grew up with motherfuckers like OEB.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time that was happening, I was a little younger, and like people like OEB was coming to my house. So it's like, then we all meet later on. It's like, then we realize, oh fuck, dude, it's like we're all here. We all know each other somehow, or are fucking, and then related to a lot of people,
mm-hmm.
you know, some way or another. Yeah.
And then y'all created the scene.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. We trying, man. They established a good, big props to them motherfuckers like LCA, Pilot, Freestyle Kings, Sub Sab, like the cast that was originally doing hip hop, like with nothing to base it on. Like, you know, when I was coming up, I had that inspiration of, you know, oh, they working with Tech 9. Oh, fuck. There's something going on. They didn't have that. They really had to out here to chip away at it, man. So
pave the way.
Yeah, man. I can't ever downplay that either. So I was just the next generation, you know.
You've been holding the torch, man.
Yeah, man. They got the new generation coming up, like shit, Nak's son, youngsters. You know, come on, man.
Y'all better keep your eyes out for the Fantastic Family this year,
yes,
man.
Yes, sir. Vernacular, baby. The whole Fantastic Fam, yeah. They get busy. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Man, like Swizz and the homegirl Julia, they were talking about making the Hip Hop Congress, like out here.
Yeah, Julia was just telling me about that. That's what's up.
And I like that idea. And having workshops for the kids. Especially out here, because
speaking of that, man, I just went to the NAC 1 lettering workshop, man. Learn lettering from a legend.
Shit, and that's the real deal, bro. And that's the lineage. That's from like the subways in New York City. Shit, that's that lineage that he learned. That must have been crazy, bro.
It was dope, man.
NAC is so ill with it. That's a true b-boy right there.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't just a rapper. That's a b-boy, like all around, bro. You know what I mean? So I think he can even pop and lock and shit. I think he could dance too.
I know he can.
A lot of Bay boys, you know what I'm saying, they gotta get down. You know what I mean? Like that,
yeah. That's what's up.
But yeah, there's gotta be more shit like that. More workspace and communal things like that. And like, you know, like C. Baker's Dynasty Studios and shit. Like,
I need to check that out.
Yeah, I've rented it out to practice for a show. You know, and you can do all sorts of shit. There's a drum kit in there. There's all sorts of instruments.
Oh, yeah. Dope.
It's in the same area as where I record, the Danco place out there in Valley West.
Oh, nice. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. So shout out to cats like that are already doing shit like that in the community. And, you know, like Jason Brandy with Humboldt Republic. You know what I'm saying? That's the broski. So there's like fashion. We got so much shit here, man. We got all shit, man.
Holding it down.
Holding it down, man.
I got respect.
There's lots of great minds around here, man.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And salute to you, bro. So, you know what I mean? Knowing what time it is and just having the love and you know, getting us together and just kind of having like a selfless purpose, you know? That's dope, bro.
Thank you,
man. We appreciate you.
Thank you, man. I just appreciate what y'all have done. I got respect for it, you know, and I hadn't seen this up to this point. You know, it was actually, Nat gave me the idea. You know, he was like, we need a hip hop blogger around here, you know, and I had the skills to be able to drop this podcast. I had done, you know, a few episodes where I'm just actually covering mainstream hip hop mostly, and then just like letting folks know like new hip hop that was dropping around here. Right. Like those were the first few episodes, right? And then it was like, well, you know, linked up with Knack and then Swizz, and then did the interview with Swizz, and then from there, like, you know, everybody's been receptive, and I'm just blessed to be a part of laying down, just archiving this legacy of what you guys have done. Man,
shit, it was wide open too. I'm glad someone did it and is doing it right. You know, because it could fall into the wrong hands. It could be someone that's not in tune, not coming out and just popping out to these shows and these ciphers and actually peeping what's going on. You're handling them right, like for sure. And this can only strengthen kind of the movement here. It can only strengthen it. And, you know, the youngsters are going to come up and want to get on this podcast, you know?
That's right.
So it's an exciting thing, man.
Heck yeah.
All around.
I appreciate your time this evening, Hiway.
Man.
Like, I'm looking for everything I'm looking forward to every single thing you're dropping this year, man.
Thank you.
And I want to wish you the best of luck with every single project you got rolling right now, everything you got in the clip. Because like I said, man, I see you doing these videos. Like, you got this short form thing pretty dialed, because like you were talking about earlier, your stuff is conceptual. So in a short form video, like, you're painting a picture. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that's setting people apart. There's content creators that just may be like repping some brand or whatever, you know, whatever. But then there's people that are putting conscious energy, mental energy into it, like you are, you know?
Yeah, man.
And that's touching.
Well, thank you, man. Not to knock anyone's hustle and shit, but this is all I know how to do, man. Like, I'm not just gonna, if I'm gonna post something, it's gonna be something I created. It's not just gonna be like, hey, look at me, it's a new picture of me. You know what I'm saying? I just bought this new fit and I need, you know what I'm saying? I like to have content. I like to have a reason behind it, and it's like, it's fuck, man. When you see motherfucking cat profiles on IG that has 100,000 followers, you know what I'm saying? It can get fucking discouraging and shit. But you can't really dwell on that at all. You just gotta fucking learn it and get these relationships popping. Promote yourself. Put the money and time into promoting yourself and shit. That's like a big thing that's been lacking. Big thing that I've always lacked. You gotta promote your shit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, anything I do is gonna be this art form. You know what I'm saying? I'm not using hip hop to gradually switch lanes and shit. I ain't doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to throw names out there, but
yeah, it happens.
Come on, it happens. But I'm true to this shit. I know nothing else, and that's good or bad. But it is what it is. So anything you see me do is gonna be making music, like straight up, till I die in this motherfucker. Like
that's what's up.
That's it.
Thank you, cuz.
My man.
I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
I'm looking forward to the next one,
Yes, sir. We'll be back.